Hello everyone, I'm here today with a new process video. I'm working on some more Canada layouts, and this is from when we were at Parliament Hill in Ottawa. And you can see how I have this arranged already. So it will be a 6x12 layout, but it's technically a 9x12, and I have this happening. So this all goes together. So all of these plus this. So that kind of lets you know this is how I think I want things arranged, but I have an empty space here. I know I want this card. I love it. I love that it's yellow, so it matches what I'm wearing. It matches the flowers. It leaves me a good amount of journaling room. I just like everything about it. So I know I'm using that, but as you can see, I have an empty space here. Have to have something on the other side as well. And then I have lots of area to embellish, which is both good and bad. I love the embellishing part, but I have no idea what I want to use for this. So it might be a little bit of a challenge, but we'll see. I do happen to have a lot of memorabilia from this trip, and I have several things from Parliament because we actually went in and sat in on a session, a debate that they were having, which was super interesting for me. And I picked up a lot of stuff. I had this sticker, and originally when I was kind of drawing out some of the layouts that I wanted, I had this kind of planned for something else and didn't end up using it. It just didn't work with the way I thought it was going to work. So I still have this left over. I'm wondering because it does have yellow and blue. There's lots of that happening. Green, obviously, not so much the pink and the purple, but the other stuff I think would be okay. I don't think it would work here, but I'm wondering if I could put it here, because then it's also kind of the first thing you see as part of this layout, and the yellows all match. It's not super distracting. This is very neutral, which is good. I feel like it would be better placed there and then here. So I may just have to find kind of a subtle background. Not sure if I'd go gray. I don't think white. White is too stark, but maybe a gray with all this stone in there, and then put that on there, and like that's the whole card. I would just make my own and then leave it at that. But that still doesn't solve the problem of what to put here and then embellishing all the rest of this stuff. Originally, I was thinking gray for over here. Now I may change my mind. I'm thinking maybe blue, because I have this beautiful blue sky. I have two shades of blue here that I could use, and I have these. So maybe like one of these tones. Actually, this one would be okay too. And either of these might work. I love the color and then the size. I don't feel guilty about it because they're already made smaller. I don't have to cut into a full sheet of paper to get what I want. So one thing I do want to mention is these are from scrapbook.com, as you can see. So it shows you what you get, 5 of each of these. And then I wanted to show the measurements on the back. So this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So obviously if you're going to cut this down, you're only going to get one 3x4 out of it. And then you're going to have some extra. If you are looking to make more of your own cards and have this as a background, this is the better option for you because it's the same colors. You still get 5 of each color, but look at the dimensions. 3x5 by 8 1/2. So you can get 2 3x4s out of each of these. You'd still have a little left over, but not as much waste, I think, as with this. Since I have these darker blues already, I decided to go with a lighter shade here just for contrast, but I think it works well with this color. And so I probably will just do something like that. I may do like a little washi up here or something, or maybe I should do it like this, a little more to the top, and do washi down here and do yellow. I could do a very thin strip if I want, and then it brings all of that together. If I had a yellow embellishment up top, that would really balance it out well. I'm not sure, but I do want to use this background and the sticker. I'll start with that as my base, and I'll just see what I find. Okay, I think I have chosen my washi here. I think I'm going to do this one. It's very thin. It's yellow with a clear stripe there. I think it adds some nice contrast. At first I was worried, like, is that too busy? Because I've got stripes, but then I've got these rays going out here. I actually like it when if it'll cooperate here. There we go. When I hold it up there, I like that. So I'm not going to run it all the way across. I'm just going to do enough to kind of be in the middle. So maybe about like here. There we go. And then just kind of eyeball it maybe about there. And it actually leaves me room, like I could stamp or something or not do anything else at all. Yeah, I do like that color though. So I'm gonna keep that. I think I need to lower it a little bit on the left-hand side. A little more even there. I think so. Yeah, that's better. So that might be the entire card right there. Or I could ink splatter or something, but I think it would be okay to just leave it as it is because it kind of gives the eye a nice resting place when looking top to bottom, but we'll see. I actually decided to just put a mini staple in there kind of right in the middle and just leave it as is. So I'm going to put that one in here because that one is done. That's what it looks like on the front flap. And I like that. I think that that's plenty because there's a lot going on here. So that's good. And now I got to use the sticker. I would have been very sad if I had to sort of waste it and have it not end up in the album. So I'm glad I figured out a way to use it. So I think I want to continue with the yellow theming here and go for a card that has that on there. So I've pulled out a bunch of my yellow travel cards. Now I kind of like this one actually because it does have some red in it. That's a darker yellow than I would have liked, but it does match the tulips there. So that's a pretty good choice. Actually, I'm going to turn these over so they stay in order here. You can see I love to print on the backs when I make mistakes. I hate wasting paper. Venture in the City, I don't really like that. This was Afternoon. No. Maybe. En route, no. I don't mind this, but I like the fact that that has red on it better. It just gives it more visual pop, I think. Great Outdoors, no. Good Morning, no. That one wouldn't be bad, but I'd have to embellish it with something. Like maybe I'd have to put on like a red arrow or something. So I'm going to keep that as an option. I don't like that that has the plane on it. Not a hotel, no. Meh. No. Ooh, that's not bad with this. I'll consider that. Again, I'd have to put red on there. Although I know I do have red rhinestones, so I could put one up there. Do I have two of these? Isn't that? I do. Okay. These are digital files, so I probably printed more than once. That goes the wrong way. That's not horrible, but I don't like it as much as these. Oh, no, it says cafe on there. Nope. Okay, so it's going to be between these three. The more I looked at these, the more I think I really want this one. Simply because it does already have the red on there, which is so nice to go with those flowers. And since I have red over here, that's also good. You can see it in the background. And then I might be able to work out something red here. Like maybe I know I have geotags, but do I have one small enough to kind of fit there on top just to add some dimension and color? I might. So I'm going to look at that. But I really like this, that it's just kind of already done the way it is. I could put it right in the pocket and not do anything to it, which I think I'll just do now because then I know it's done and it'll really help me design the rest of this. I went into my geotag stash and I pulled out these. I do think that smallest one will fit here. So let's try it. And by the way, these are from Studio Calico. I think I bought 2, maybe even 3 packages of these when they released because I knew I'd end up using them a lot since travel's like my favorite thing. Oh shoot, I just realized that's the medium one. Ooh, a little too big. Going to my second sheet here. How's that little one? Oh, that's perfect. All right, we're going to do that. And then we'll go right there over the one that's already there. And not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just this helps me add a little color. Oh, I want to scooch that down a little bit. Add a little color, a little dimension. Maybe over a tad. I want to just get it placed correctly. Let's see. Yeah, I like that. And look at that pop of color. I think that's perfect. It doesn't need to be a huge amount because I have the red happening other places. And I actually really love it when I look at it, that this is down here. The most red is up there. It sends the eye kind of in a diagonal pattern. And I love that. So I definitely think this is the right choice. Since I have this done, I think I'm actually just going to journal on my card here. So we have place, it's Parliament Hill, we've got weather date. I know this was May 6th, right? Saturday was the 4th, Sunday the 5th, Monday the 6th, yes. So this was 5/6/24. Weather, I'm just going to say sunny. You can clearly see that it was. And then place, Parliament Hill. There we go. And then I will do the rest of my journaling because I don't know exactly what I want to say yet, but I will do the rest of that off camera. In looking what I have so far here, I feel like I need something in this empty space here. And this actually works out well because it's just blue sky, plenty of options of things I could do there. I could do a phrase, I could do a piece of ephemera, I could do something. I could even stamp if I wanted to, but I doubt I would do that. But I've at least pulled out my bag of yellow ephemera to see, like, is there anything in here I can just slap on there that goes with what I already have? In my ephemera, I actually found this. And I think this works really well because it actually has blue in it. I wasn't planning for that, but the fact that it's there is great. I would cut off the top. I don't need this top part, but I'd kind of lay it over like that. I think cut out the little notch there. Fit it kind of between the buildings where there's a gap. I think that's good. And then maybe I only need one more thing over here, maybe up top or across the bottom in the green. I'm not sure, but I think this helps get me most of the way for this page. Okay, so there we have that. I cut out the little notch, clipped off the end, and now I'm just going to put in a little staple right here at the top. There we go. That's all I need to do for that one. Now, I need to look at this and figure out, do I need something else? I do feel like I need something over here because I have nothing really. It can't really be here because I already have this. This is busy enough as it is with all this stuff. I think it's going to have to be up top, and then it'll kind of go top right, middle, lower right here. It gives a nice way to move the eye around the layout. So it's got to be up here, but the question is, what do I put there? In looking at this and what I'm going to do on the photo, I thought maybe I should bring in some blue because I have it around the page, but not as much on the flap part as around here. So if I put that up here, have some blue, it'll look really nice with this blue sky, I think. So I've pulled out all of my blue phrases and hopefully I will find something in here that is fitting for what I want. I have that done. I put in a little mini staple there and I still have all of this left that I can use for something else. So I'm going to put that in my scraps pile. And now I just have to figure out, is it really done? In looking at this whole layout, I love all the inside stuff. And I think this is enough with the outside flap, given everything that you see on the left. So it is done, I think. Here's another one finished for Canada. Thanks for watching.